The Brooklyn Nets are trading Kyrie Irving to the Dallas Mavericks. Irving is expected to...
Luka Doncic will not be happy long-term with Kyrie.
The Dallas Mavericks are a mess.
They're top 5 individuals. They can't work together.
I do think people are overreacting.
You got a new teammate in Kyrie Irving. What are the expectations moving forward?
Kyrie and Luka here in the fourth.
Oh, Luka couldn't get the inbound pass.
We just got to make it work, and I think we will.
Here I was just a couple of months back thinking to myself, oh my goodness, finally, the Dallas Mavericks finally did it. After nearly 5 long years of going at it all by himself and still keeping the Mavs at a reputable state, Luka Doncic at last has some superstar help by his side. It's a bold, risky, and even controversial trade, albeit, but it might have been just what the Mavericks needed. Kyrie Irving, the NBA's most polarizing superstar, and the only superstar in NBA history who's incredibly skilled enough that his play oftentimes far outdoes his off-the-court volatility. And Kyrie's one confusingly volatile 30-year-old. Seriously. But listen, Kyrie is special and gifted when he actually plays and isn't sidetracked. And after his first few games in Dallas and having now played alongside Luka, I'm convinced this is about to be really, really good. The NBA's Western Conference just got a whole lot better. The Nuggets, with MVP leader Nikola Jokic, continue to ascend and continue to win games. The Grizzlies, although in a bit of a slump, are a physical, tough contender out west. The Clippers can still be dangerous. The Lakers can really be dangerous. The Mavs added Kyrie. And of course, the Suns swung and hit on a trade for the biggest piece on the trade market, Kevin Durant. A move that has led person after person after person to choose the Suns as the prohibitive favorite in not just the West, but the favorite in the entire NBA. But this is exactly why I love the NBA and its unpredictability. We just saw 2 of the greatest scorers of all time on one team that were traded in a span of 72 hours. Yeah, a whole lot of that happened. And now, lucky for us fans, we have a really good shot at seeing these 2 teams run it back in a few months during the playoffs. Unfortunately, we never ended up coming anywhere close to this matchup, since the Mavs, well, are kind of in a dumpster fire right now and don't know what their future holds. But when Kyrie arrived in Dallas, this matchup against their rivals looked especially spicy. Just take a look at this if the Mavs and Suns played. Luka, Kyrie, Hardaway, Green, and Powell versus CP3, Booker, Torrey, KD, and Ayton. I mean, sheesh, guys. Though Kyrie's had a crazy last few years with mostly off-the-court speculation and drama, many people thought that Kyrie might have found the best home for at least the time being, because he gives the Mavericks a realistic shot at going for some hardware this postseason. And truth be told, the more I come across people on the internet questioning the fit between Kyrie and Luka, the more I wanted this team to advance further and further. Look at it this way. We all know that Kyrie wanted to become a Laker and wanted to, again, play alongside LeBron after their rough ending a few seasons ago. Why? Because both LeBron and Kyrie know that they work incredibly well together, and a guy like LeBron is perfect for Kyrie and his game. Now look at it this way. Who's the one player in the NBA that's received the most comparison to LeBron in the last handful of years? Luka, right? Both guys are natural ball handlers, great facilitators of the offense, possess great passing skills and leadership intangibles, and both have this rare gift of being able to control the tempo of the game, or to see and feel things before they even happen. This is why I and many others thought Kyrie was going to be happy with Luka, and Luka's going to be more than happy with Kyrie playing off of him. In fact, Kyrie played some of his best basketball when the playmaking responsibilities were on someone else's shoulders. But that's not at all what happened. In fact, and I still can't believe these words are actually coming out of my mouth, but the exact opposite just transpired right in front of our very eyes these past 2-ish months. With their loss against the Bulls, the Mavs post-trade deadline fell to an 8-13 record with Kyrie joining Luka in the backcourt. 8-13. And this entire situation isn't as black and white as you might think it is. Kyrie doesn't deserve to be totally shredded here because he's been, I would say, pretty sensational through considerable stretches in his time wearing a Mavs uniform. He posted averages of 27, 6, and 5 through 20 games with the Mavs, including some ridiculous scoring outbursts like his 41 against Atlanta, his 38 against perhaps his future squad, the Lakers, 40 against Philly, nothing to sneeze at. In fact, they're performances that by looking solely at the box score, you'd think Kyrie single-handedly lifted them to W after W. But what hasn't been so obvious is, really, what is operating between the lines down in Dallas? When Dallas first acquired Kyrie, Luka's reaction was, He's probably the best ball handler ever in the game. Amazing player, and it's going to be fun to play with him.
I think it's so fun to play with this guy. Amazing basketball player.
Yet, I don't know about you, but I haven't even for a second got that impression from Luka that he indeed enjoys playing alongside Kyrie. You know, if there were two basketballs during play at once, the Mavs probably would be a terror to defend. But this is what has ultimately held Dallas back. Kyrie and Luka could never quite avoid stepping on each other's toes. In fact, Luka Doncic, the undisputed face of the franchise and a player many consider better than Kyrie, ended up playing fewer minutes than Kyrie in crunch time and taking fewer shots in crunch time. Why? Maybe it's because he just could not figure out how to make things work with Kyrie needing the ball to work his own magic, and how Luka could get his own without hurting the team in any way. And that was the dilemma Luka faced all throughout Kyrie's time there thus far. And truth be told, he never figured it out. At least not at any point this season, but we'll have to see if he can figure it out. Oh, by the way, if Kyrie actually ends up re-signing with the Mavs, because he's an unrestricted free agent this summer. And that brings us to the next point. The Mavs could potentially be facing a situation where they might end up taking a huge L, regardless of the decision they make on Kyrie. Let's look at it this way, shall we? If you re-sign Kyrie just to have another horrible season next year and find that Kyrie is limiting Luka's effectiveness, or vice versa, what good have you done? Oh, and if you decide that you're going to let Kyrie hit the open market and lose him for nothing, then you effectively gave up those assets back in February for a 4-month rental with Kyrie. I don't know about you, but this just sounds like a situation where you're damned if you do and damned if you don't. Remember, Luka got Dallas to the Western Conference Finals with Jalen Brunson as his co-star. And Brunson is a nice player, but he's no Kyrie. But when it comes to playing and fitting alongside Luka Doncic, Kyrie is nice, but he's no Jalen Brunson. Man, how terrible of a feeling it must be for the Mavs and their fans. Thinking back to last summer and how the team chose to let Jalen Brunson walk for nothing. The man who helped Luka and the Mavs throw the Phoenix Suns under the bus in Game 7 and drive over them multiple times, with the latest reports on the Mavericks all being largely negative, especially considering that it's being reported many guys won't be on the team next season. It just leaves you scratching your head if you're Luka Doncic. Oh, and yeah, this. The thing that makes you sick to your stomach thinking about potentially losing your generational superstar player due to dysfunction in the franchise and the lack of a supporting cast. Could Luka be out on the Mavs next season? Heck, could he even be planning his eventual departure now? Oh boy. I wouldn't want to be running the Mavs right now because that organization is truly a big mess right now.